any intelligence testing they may have done, your production, they'll put colors on it that are whether you're at the line, above the line, under the line. And when you have somebody that's a little undersized, it's nice to have some prettier colors when you look at the speed and you look at the jumps and all the other factors there, Buck.
Yeah, it makes it very convincing for a coach to be able to talk your way into someone who might be a little undersized when they have that kind of speed and explosiveness.
Yeah, a red card is bad in soccer and it's bad on a draft card. You don't want the whole thing to be red.
It appears the crowd there has gotten our message, starting to get a little more life. Stop selling these throws to show a little bit more excitement as Fernando's pushing this ball down the field a little bit. We see what he was able to do on the field, completing 72% of his passes. He completed north of 68 at Cal, so he's always been an accurate quarterback. That's a nice one. Close.
Right there. Hey, DJ, so much of the conversation, about Fernando and the way that he operated in this offense, as it's compared to Ty Simpson and some of the concepts that he ran where, this is an RPO-heavy offense and, maybe some of this doesn't quite translate to what, he may or may not do in Clint Kubiak's offense or in any other NFL offense. I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, when you have a player that maybe has that narrative around him, how does that affect the projection and how do you kind of sift through that?
I'm always careful when you're evaluating guys to differentiate between saying he can't do something versus he wasn't asked to do something. And you run the offense that you're in and you run it at the highest level you possibly can, and obviously he did that. And then when you combine the combination of the size, the accuracy, the work ethic, the discipline, to me, I think you're going to be able to put things on this guy's plate and he's going to work himself into figuring it out. I don't really see that as a major concern. Buck. I think we used to talk about, remember we used to be in the draft room and say, hey, don't grade the helmet.
Yeah,
well, you
absolutely.
can't grade the offense either. You got
that's where that work ethic and that preparation really stands out.
A lot of the evaluators on this team doing this year in, year out, you want to have an idea, a function for how things go, and a paint by numbers thing. But when you're talking about people, about human beings who are all different, it's tough to do that and have every single situation look the same, and sometimes it's going to look different.
You're not going to have the whole picture colored in on any player. I don't care how great they are. There's going to be something that's going to require a little bit of projection. And over the years, to me, that's come down to more who you are as a person than any of the individual skill set. To me, Buck, if you're working as hard as this dude's working and grinding like he's grinding, I just have a hard time betting against him that he's not going to figure out whatever he's missing, which I don't think there's a lot there that he's missing.
Yeah, most time when scouts miss, they miss not on the talent, they miss on the player, they miss on the character part of it. Well, his character is impeccable by all accounts. People talk about the work ethic. You see how he handles himself with his teammates, the way that he approaches coaches and ingratiates himself with that stuff. You feel good that when you bring Fernando Mendoza in the building, man, he's going to give you everything that he has to be the player that you want him to be and the player that he wants to be in the end.
By the way, he just threw that to Nowakowski, the tight end, he is like, I talk about prospects who are kind of like misfit toys. Like, he's just a really, really good player. He's kind of a tweener. When you think about a tight end, fullback, H-back type at just over 6'2", 250 pounds, he blocks his rear end off, man. He is so tough. He catches everything. He's got no drops. To me, he's going to be a fun, I think he'll probably go 4th, 5th round. You got to have a role for him, but he's just a good football player.
I would echo those sentiments. I mean, he was really kind of a heartbeat of this offense, really from the kind of the early onset. You go back to the Kennesaw State game, I thought was the moment that he kind of introduced himself. That was week 2, introduced himself to this kind of this team in a way that he could be really valuable. And I mean, they put him out there on Ruben Bain, on Akeem Messidor in the national title game, against Arvell Reese in the Big Ten championship game, and he always held his own. Whether it was blocking at the point of attack or, out on the move, he's going to bring some value to a team and on special teams as well.
Yeah, no doubt, Rhett. He's and look, this is that program that they have there right now, Coach Signetti. These guys are all tough. There's just a toughness that you could see in all these guys we're watching go through this workout right now. That was a beautiful in cut there, Buck, just driving the ball. Little over route.